And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Already Tuesday. Hope your day is going well. I doubt that a lot of you have opened your door yet, but let me warn you, as you do, it is extremely foggy this morning. I went down a moment ago and opened up the door, and visibility between here and the mailbox extremely low. Got some pictures of Highway 11. School buses are going to be rolling. We can't stress to you enough about being extra careful this morning. Give yourself at least 10 minutes extra if you can before you head off. You don't need to be driving fast in this in any shape, form, or way. Keep your headlights on low beam. That usually does help the situation a little bit there for what's going on. So be careful. We're going to talk about the severe weather that is headed for us starting tomorrow afternoon. We'll have a round, and then another round will roll in on Thursday, most likely Thursday night at this point. It's moved about 35 miles to the west. Still a 3 and a 2 for areas of this area here in East Mississippi. Alabama will be coming in at a 2. Mother Nature can change. We'll look at all of that this morning in a few moments to let you know and let you be up to date with every bit of the weather. Let's find out what's going on in Collinsville. Always something good. Let's check in and see what the First Baptist Church has to say this morning.
We all have preferences in life. It's always interesting to hear the debate over which truck brand is better. Perhaps you have a preference on your favorite type of shoe, or the ultimate one, the preference on where you go out to eat with your spouse. You know, your spouse really doesn't care where you want to eat until you decide and then they don't like it. We have to be careful that we don't take our preferences and our preconceived notions and apply those to people. There are always going to be people that we don't get along with. There's going to be people we get along with better than others, but we need to realize that the gospel is a hope for everybody. In Matthew 20, Jesus tells a story, a parable, something meant to convey a truth of workers in a field. The workers who went out early, well, they got their wage at the end of the day. But he hired some at the very end, and they got the same wage. Obviously, the people who got hired first were pretty upset about it. But what Jesus was trying to tell with this story was essentially this, that the gospel is for everybody, Jew, Gentile, or otherwise. Doesn't matter if you were there at the beginning or you came in at the end. The gospel's for everybody, and it's a hope for everybody. And it doesn't matter your past. What matters is the hope. And also conveyed in here is this, it's a gift. Those guys that came in at the end, they didn't earn their salvation. In fact, they didn't work very long at all. But the free gift of salvation is for those who believe on Jesus Christ. So here's my question to you. Do you know Jesus? Have you been given that hope? And if you're not there, it's never too late. Please remember, change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And we all do have our preferences, don't we? The age-old question. Blue Plate or Miracle Whip? People will argue with you over that, and it comes down to Coke or Pepsi. What do you prefer? We do. And the older you get, and let me warn you on this, the worse it gets. Y'all know what I mean on that. You get settled into what you like, and, well, you don't even try the other after a while because you found what's good. Preferences. Yep, we all have them there. As we go through some headlines that are happening this morning, we go back, and when I first read this story, I thought it happened overnight. As we read more into this would go back to a story that's making its way around the nation this morning, back to December at the end of it, as a man tried to board a plane. Well, there's nothing unusual about that, is it? Nope, not until you find out that he attempted to board with a AR-15, a taser, and a fake U.S. Marshal's badge. Things like this are a little bit slower to get out as they finally release this. He was from New Jersey. It all happened there at New York Liberty International Airport. It was actually December 30th, so we're looking at roughly 2 months before that story found the light of day. Serious. That could have turned out very bad. But that is one of the stories making the rounds today. You can read more about that on Fox. They were the one pushing behind that. This always concerns me. I was brought up, and I think most of us were, in a time where men treat ladies different. Let's just be honest about it. A man does not hit a woman, not in the world that I live in, not forever will it ever happen. It's just something that is done. It's not done. As we look at one of the headline stories of this, Zach Stacy, he's an NFL star. He's going to have to end up spending 6 months in jail. I don't know if you ever watched that video, who had a girlfriend who was very fragile, and he picked her up and threw her around a couple times there in his apartment. He'll spend 6 months in jail on this, and all happened down in Florida. I don't know, I was taught different. Keep your anger to yourself and never do that upon a woman. Open doors. It's a shame that America's lost that. I truly believe that. A couple other headlines this morning, and this really takes guts. Imagine yourself being a preacher right in the middle of the sermon, and somebody interrupts, comes in. It's 4 of them, and you notice that something doesn't look right. Your background is you're an ex-police officer, and you notice that, well, there's guns all in their waistband. You can see it. The preacher done the right thing, and boy, he was good at it. This happened in a Missouri church as the pastor moved in and got closer to him, began engaging him, had the church praying for him immediately, as he had somebody else call the law to get there in time. He saved the day without a doubt. Not everybody would have handled it that way. Thank goodness they didn't come in a-blazing, isn't it? But it was smart, and it was his police background that saved the day on that. Thank heavens we're not telling you a different story on all of that. Do you remember the guy that played in Private Ryan, the main actor on that? We brought up about 2 to 3 weeks ago that he was not doing very well. He's not. Family members at this point now are making the final, what's the word I'm looking for? Final arrangements for him. He has not passed away, but it is very close. His name is Tom Sizemore. His condition, bless it. We'll see what becomes of that, and we think of the family. As we go to New York City, this has become an age-old thing now across America, to where people don't like things, and, well, they try to tear it up. Christopher Columbus hadn't bothered anybody there in the 128 years he's been standing there. Now, they took red paint and defaced him and wrote nasty words all over it. We see this more and more and more, and I get fed up with it, and I'm sure you do too. Ought to be a law against that. Maybe there is, and I just don't know it. If there is a law, somebody please enforce it. That's what I wish for. We'll be right back. We got more to come. We're going to tell you all about this weather and what's going to happen. Remember, visibility is almost zero this morning. It's hard to see. We'll tell you more about it.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. And let's talk about weather just a moment. We have tomorrow level 1 coming into the area. North Mississippi is going to be a level 2. By Thursday, we will move to a level 3, and this is most likely going to hit at night. Now, there's been a few changes in this. I'll show you what the National Weather Service is predicting for tomorrow. I will show you exactly what it is at this moment. Apparently, the National Weather Service thinks it'll move about another 10 miles west of us. Let's look at what we've got here. Let's pull up my radar this morning, as we go to Meridian Honda Radar to take a look at this. Now, this is the scene. All of this that you see here blobbed right now, this is all fog. Look how thick this is. As we showed some pictures of Highway 11 and 80, think how bad this is west of here as you're going toward Newton, I-20, all the back roads of Newton, Clark County, Highway 45. It is thick all the way down into Wayne County over here near Laurel. It's thick. We can't stress to you enough of being more than cautious and careful this morning. Now, let's talk about severe weather. Let's show you what is going on my radar of what we're expecting for tomorrow as we pull up this. Let me go to the severe weather. This is going to be day 2, which will be Wednesday. Now, as we'll see here, here's Meridian right here. This is all green. This is a level 1, which means that we could have some thunderstorms. You can never, ever rule out a tornado, but it's most likely not going to happen in this area here that is shaded dark green. We move northward into the Winona area here in the Mississippi Delta, Houston area, up through Tupelo, back over this all the way into Collierville, Tennessee. This takes in and makes it a level 2. Tornadoes can happen in this and very often do during these right here. And this is going to drift on back as we look at this back over here to Texarkana. That's the area of the severe weather, the worst of it for tomorrow there. North Mississippi and back into mostly Arkansas as we look at that. Now, let's switch to tomorrow and see what is in store for our area tomorrow. Now, this is a level 3. Anywhere where you see this pink shaded area, we'll call it pink, is most likely where tornadic activity can occur for the most part. Now, again, as we pull this up, we'll see that the western side of Mississippi is covered in this up to West Point. If you've got kids that go to Mississippi State, let them know, as well as if you've got kids at Ole Miss. Now, let's look at what we've got today. This is showing on my radar at this point, at this exact moment in time, that western Lauderdale County is still included in this. DeKalb is still included in this, and this follows Highway 45, everything back west. As we look at this, Decatur, and as we'll look at this from the National Weather Service in just a moment, the prediction for tomorrow will move this line till about right here, barely in Lauderdale County. Again, we are dealing with Mother Nature. It could go back this way, but right now, they're saying right here, Newton County, no matter what happens, Neshoba County, you're not out of it. And Kemper, you're right on the verge of this. Again, we're going to pull this up and take a closer look at it here from the National Weather Service of what they're telling us. This is what we have predicted right now live on radar. Again, let me state again, without a shadow of a doubt, it's Mother Nature, and anything can happen within 10 to 20 miles. These are imaginary lines to where if you've got it 5 miles into Lauderdale County, a tornado doesn't know boundaries. It can do what it wants. And again, this will most likely occur at nighttime. Let's get into the forecast.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back for the record highs and record lows, 1981, it was 84. 2002, 17 degrees. A very cold day. As we look at what is happening today, it's going to be beautiful. 80 to 81 is what we're expecting. 79 through Philadelphia as you go northward, up towards State and all, 77 in those areas. Down south, 83 in Hattiesburg and 82 over to Natchez. As we go to Bama, 81 in Tuscaloosa, 82 right around there in Demopolis, and we should see about 81 coming in at Livingston University. Now, as we get our first taste of this, this is the National Weather Service's outlook for tomorrow. As we'll see, the timing on this will be 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. right here, level 1 in this area. We can get strong thunderstorms, heavy wind. Most likely, though, that severe weather will lie north of us, as we pointed out a moment ago, in the Mississippi Delta. Now, let's pull in what the National Weather Service is showing us for tomorrow. As we were looking at on my radar system at this moment, this is a prediction for tomorrow. We still have it about 10 miles into Lauderdale County and half of Lauderdale County and Macon. They pushed this to the west just a little bit, and they put it at the Newton County line, the Neshoba, Kemper, and Winston and Noxubee County line is how this will fall. Everything back west toward Jackson, still a level 3, and it's pretty much saying that tomorrow Lauderdale County east is going to be a level 2 as we look at all of this. Now, again, what does this mean? Well, it's going to start Thursday evening and then most likely go into those overnight hours. Late, we will watch it. As we look at all of this area, and again, a tornado doesn't know that it needs to stop at the Neshoba County line. It does not know that it should stop at Newton. Again, it is most likely in these areas, but we'll see that severe storms are likely. Tornadoes are very likely and strong, damaging winds of 70 miles an hour and hail up to a quarter anywhere that you see this shaded orange color. Now, this is the slight risk, damaging winds of 60, tornadoes still possible, and very strong thunderstorms. We will watch this. We will be on this all throughout the day and hours as this comes about. Share, tell a friend, and make sure when we go live that you're with us to know the exact locations of storms and where they are in relation to where you live. Always have a weather plan. Know what you're going to do and where you're going to go if one is issued for your area. As we look at Alabama, we see that for tomorrow on Wednesday, it's all a level 1 there. As we move in to day 2, which is Thursday night, they're all, the entire state of Alabama there, at a level 2. Something to watch. Their time frame is 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. As I told you, this is going to be an overnight time frame as it messes with Mississippi. So you can back this up roughly about an hour or so there. Overnight hours is what we're expecting. As we move forward, still high temperatures as we look at the 10-day outlook. As we move forward into your 7-day forecast brought to you by Wilson Saw and Outdoor Power. 80 to 81 today, no matter, depending upon where you live. We should see 82 tomorrow, 82 on Thursday, both of these days as we have high temperature storms moving in. By the weekend, a 70 is what we've got on Friday. That's not bad, is it? A little cooler on Saturday at 65, but 0% chance of rain. 67 on Sunday. Perfect weather after we get past Thursday. As we go another week into March and go all the way through the 14th, we'll have some 80-degree weather on the 7th at 8th, and then we're back into the 60s for about a week. A few chances of showers, nothing bad as you look at all of this. We're still way ahead of that little groundhog. He's all wrong, isn't he? Yes, that was for Thursday, the orange, Christy. Jeff Lewis, good morning to you. As we look at the fishing forecast for today, Chet tells us a great time to get out is right now through about 8 o'clock. Perfect time to go fishing. Again, this afternoon, another time will be right at 6:30, that dark until dark 30. USM will be a level 2 on that. We'll get more into the weather forecast. We're going to go back into this morning on the morning show as we move into this. And there is so much to talk about of what has gone on over the last 24 hours. Shootings in Kemper County left one person injured. We'll tell you all about that. We've had a few wrecks in the area and go over what's important to you, what's happening around in your world so you know where to go, what to do. I'll remind you as we go into closing before the morning show, fog, and more fog. There are school buses rolling. Leave early, drive slower. The main points of this morning. We are 10 minutes away from the morning show, 11, 12, maybe, somewhere along in there. We're real close on this. Join us. Odie's going to be our special guest as Deb takes the week off to recover from the no voice issue that she's had. Hopefully she'll be back at work next Monday. We'll see. Odie's in the house. He'll join us in a few moments. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stay with us, and we'll be right back in roughly 10 minutes and go live for you.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.